30 years ago, there's a good chance that nobody in your immediate circle would have been suffering from any gastrointestinal problems, and you also wouldn't be suffering yourself. But today, it's very different. First, the inflammation hits, and then it turns into something unfortunate like gastrointestinal cancer. 30 years ago, colon cancer was considered a disease of older adults. Today, it's the leading cause of cancer death in men under 50, and the cases are skyrocketing every year. The question really becomes, what has changed? We're going to discuss that in this video. Colon cancer has increased roughly by 2 to 4% year over year among many countries in individuals under the age of 50. Digestive disease-related deaths have increased by 38% from 1990 to 2019. So in this video, we're going to look at how we identify the root cause, inflammation, and then how we fix it. So stick around to the end. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski. Thanks for hanging out with me in today's video. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Let's go ahead and dive in. And first, we're going to look at why are these digestive disorders increasing. There's a few main points that I want to really press here. First is going to be the highly processed food diets. Recently, I was looking at a food label and it had bioengineered ingredients in it. That means that these were ingredients that were made in a lab. They're not even food, and many people are eating it. When you look at these food labels and you see a whole bunch of ingredients that you don't even understand and you can't even pronounce, these are your highly processed foods. Okay, so this is a big factor, and this is something that is very, very common in today's diet. Another big factor is going to be pesticide and herbicide use. These different chemicals that are being sprayed on our fruits, our strawberries, our vegetables, these are not good. These are toxins. These are chemicals, and we're microdosing these chemicals every single day. Our gastrointestinal system is going to be the first line of defense to these toxins, and it really is going to hurt your gut health when you're getting these different toxins every day. We're told they're safe. It's totally not true. And we're also told that, well, it's just in small amounts. Microdosing small amounts of toxins every day is not a healthy thing. And I do believe fully that these different pesticides and herbicides are far worse for our gastrointestinal health than we even understand or believe. It's very common that doctors and scientists think they know everything all the time. And they want to really look at this pesticide and herbicide problem and say, you know what? It's really not that bad for you. I think it's far worse than we understand. And I believe that the disease statistics when it comes to colon cancer and gastrointestinal disorders prove this. Now, another big factor we have to look at is the obesity factor. Okay, many people are insulin resistant. They're dealing with metabolic syndrome. They are obese. And this is very commonly associated with gut inflammation and gastrointestinal disorders. Chronic stress is another big factor as well. Many people today are dealing with more stress than ever before in history, and we have to make sure that we're getting this under control because it does really change the whole dynamic in pH and everything about our gastrointestinal health, therefore really causing a lot of disruption. So that chronic stress issue. Now, another big one that doesn't get talked about enough is the antibiotic use. Today, if you go to an urgent care, if you go to your doctor, you can get an antibiotic for anything. In fact, that's typically the first line of defense when you complain that you're sick. For people like myself, that have been put on antibiotics many, many times from a very young age, I do believe that this is one of the big, huge factors that we're dealing with today that has wrecked our guts as well. Now, when we look at antibiotic use, it is believed that once we use antibiotics just one time in our life, we have wiped out our microbiome, causing irreversible damage. So let's look at some of the symptoms that pop up when you start to have inflammatory issues in your gut, right? Because you're thinking to yourself, okay, this is all really bad. I understand where the problems are, but what do I have to look for to see if I have this? First of all, I want to point out that you can test for this, okay? This is something that we do in my clinic all the time. If something you're interested in, reach out. But you can test for gastrointestinal inflammation, and you can look at the markers and see where they are at, okay? You can look for leaky gut. You can look for all the different problems that exist surrounding gut health. So testing is a great gold standard for identifying this. However, what could we look at today? Like today as you sit here and watch this video. So the first thing is going to be increased food reactions. If you're somebody who keeps eating different foods and you keep reacting really poorly to almost every food, whether it's a fruit, a vegetable, meat, something healthy, then you have gastrointestinal inflammation, probably intestinal permeability, probably leaky gut, okay? These all go together. Now, another big factor is going to be abdominal bloating. If you have this as a symptom, and it seems that no matter what you eat, you get bloated and you get a lot of irritation in your gut, once again, leading back to gastrointestinal inflammation. If you're intolerant to sugar and starches, and you have a lot of unpredictable aches, pains and swelling in your body when you eat, then this also is going to refer back to your inflammatory issue in the gut. When we look at our gut health, it's estimated that 80% of our immune system is located within our gut. So therefore, if we have gut problems, we have immune system problems. And so many of the symptoms that you'll actually face when you have gut issues and gut inflammation are going to be autoimmune related. That's why they can be very frustrating, because they can go all over the place and cause all kinds of havoc for you in your health. So we also want to think, if you have an autoimmune condition, if you have autoimmune symptoms, which many people have many symptoms way before they're ever diagnosed, then we want to think gut inflammation and fixing our gut health. Another big one that most people never actually consider is going to be brain problems. You have poor memory, brain fog, brain fatigue. Then this is going to be related to the gut-brain axis. If your gut health is struggling, then your brain health is struggling, okay? And this is something that's very important for long-term health, longevity, and avoiding major brain issues like brain inflammation down the road. Now, if you have frequent bowel movements, if you have a lot of gas issues, if you have diarrhea, constipation, pain and discomfort, or even unexplained rashes on the skin, these are all gold standard signs of having gut inflammation. So what do we need to do about this? What are some of the changes that we can start making today? So if we go back through our list of the things that are causing problems, the first thing that we can do is start following a good, healthy, whole food diet. Just give up on eating all those junk foods. They're not good for us. I don't care who's telling you they're okay. They are not good for you. Get rid of the highly processed food. Stick to a whole food diet. And if that's confusing to you, like, well, what is in a whole food diet? Think meat, vegetables, and fruits. Those are your whole food diets. If it's found in nature, it's whole food. Eat that, okay? The next thing that we really want to make sure that we're doing is we are removing sugar from our diet. Sugar is a highly, highly inflammatory food. If we want to lower inflammation in the body, we get rid of sugar. So I would really suggest going sugar-free during this time. I know that sounds scary to a lot of people, but once you break the ties with sugar and you get off that sugar addiction model of eating, you will actually enjoy food much more and you'll be much healthier for it. You'll lose weight, your brain will work better, your gut health will improve. Now, another big food that we really have to get rid of is gluten. And I know most people go, oh my gosh, I love my breads, I don't want to get rid of it. I've had people who've come into my clinic and they have horrendous gut issues and I tell them to get rid of gluten and they're like, can't do it, won't do it. I'm like, okay, well, good luck to you. Here's the thing, is that gluten, it's estimated that 90% of people will react poorly to gluten, especially those who are having gut issues. Now, this doesn't mean you have celiac disease. This just means that you are sensitive to gluten. And look, I like bread just as much as the next person. I like pasta and all the things just as much as anyone. But the reality is that gluten has become this highly, highly reactive food and just drives gut inflammation like we've never seen before. So one of the key factors here, amongst many of the things I said today, is make sure that you're getting rid of the gluten. It's very important. Now, another highly sensitive food that many people will have a problem with is dairy, okay? And here's the thing. I think that dairy, good healthy dairy, is a completely healthy food for you to consume. Cheese, all the things. However, if you react poorly to it, you have to get rid of it. I see so many people who react poorly to dairy and they refuse to get rid of it. When you have a food that you react poorly to and you continue to eat it, you are driving inflammation like you've never seen in your gut. So make sure you're getting rid of these highly, highly sensitive foods for many people. Like I said, that's gluten and dairy. Now, another thing that we want to start considering is making sure that we're doing the best we can to avoid toxins in our food, okay? So we talked about getting rid of the ultra-processed foods, eating whole foods, but also make sure that you're doing the best you can to get rid of these different foods that are covered in pesticides and herbicides. And unfortunately, that's like everything today. So we have to eat organic whenever possible. Grow your own garden if possible. Go to farmers markets and buy from farmers who are not covering the food in pesticides and herbicides if possible, right? Start trying to make these changes. I know a lot of people say, oh my gosh, this is stressful. Look, you know what's stressful? Having colon cancer. You know what's stressful? Having an autoimmune condition that is ruining your life. That's stressful. Going and making these changes right now to prevent all of that, that's not stressful. So let's make sure that we're making these changes right now so that we can live a better quality of life. Now, another thing that we can do is we can actually start using some high-dose nutrients in order to start really crushing the inflammation in your gut. There's going to be 4 that I'm going to focus on today. One is going to be L-glutamine. 2 is going to be something called arabinogalactin. 3 is going to be aloe leaf extract, and 4 is going to be licorice root extract. These are really good at crushing inflammation in the gut and helping the gut actually repair the lining, right? Because when the gut starts to get inflammation, there's a lot of things attached to that. We start to end up with poor microbiome changes, we end up with leaky gut, we end up with ulcers, we end up with a lot of gastrointestinal bleeding, a lot of things start to happen. So these ingredients will actually help heal the gut lining and start soothing it as well, so that you have far less discomfort when you're eating and far less reactions to the foods that you're eating as well. And what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below to a powder that we use that has these particular ingredients in it in clinically relevant doses. Okay, it's called GI Repair. So I'll put a link in the description below. This will come directly from my clinic. It's something that's very helpful if you're trying to get rid of gut inflammation, because not only do we want to make the changes to start crushing the inflammation in our gut, but we actually want to start using these high dose clinically relevant ingredients that will also support us as well. Because here's the thing, and this is where we have to be realistic, and it's very important. When dealing with these gut problems, they take a long time to overcome. It's actually one of the top things that I deal with in my clinic today is gastrointestinal issues. When you have these gut issues, they take time. So as you start making the changes and you start adding in some of these different nutritional ingredients like I mentioned in the GI Repair, you're going to see that you start getting better a little bit every month, right? And let's say if you got 5 to 10% better every single month, that is a huge gain, because that means in just 6 months, you could be as much as 60% better from what you're dealing with today. Okay, that's a life-changing result for not only your quality of life right now, but also for your future and the longevity of your health. So make sure that you're really understanding that gastrointestinal health takes time to heal. It takes time to overcome. It's not like some of these other areas of the body. Some people can have some very simplistic insulin resistance and they can overcome that within 30 days. Whereas when it comes to gut health problems, it takes time. You got to be in it for the 3 months, the 6 months, the 1 year in order to overcome these challenges and overcome them successfully. I'm Dr. Zyrowski. This is how we start crushing gastrointestinal inflammation in your body. And if you have more questions on this topic and you're really looking for some answers, go ahead and reach out to my clinic, and this is something we could certainly help you with as well. So if you love this video, I bet you'll really love this video next.